Hey everybody, Mr. B here, and welcome to the channel. We're going to talk about salad dressings today. Now, not your ranch and blue cheese. That's a different video. I'll leave a link to it up here if I can remember how to do that. If not, I'll link it in the description. In that video, I show you how to make a homemade ranch, a homemade blue cheese without using the little packet of your ranch mix, which I'm not poo-pooing, because how else do you make a Mississippi pot roast, which I also have a video for, which I'll try to remember to link as well. Today we're talking vinaigrettes, classic vinaigrettes. I mean, in the combinations that you can come up with in doing this, pretty much limitless. This is a salad dressing that can also double as a marinade, particularly for pork and chicken, as you may have heard me say in the past. And I think vinaigrettes intimidate people. And the reason why I think that intimidates people is because you will see certain folks that are, telling you you've got to whisk and do the emulsification, or you slowly drizzle your olive oil into the food processor to develop the emulsification, and, which means you're dirtying up a food processor. Guys, it's way easier than that. The basic science of a vinaigrette consists of olive oil, all right, and some form of acid, be that in the form of, this is some red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar is great for this, balsamic vinegar. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do it. Just some good old citrus. Sometimes, maybe I'll show you. You do bring a little sweetness into it. And speaking of sweetness, I like to bring a little honey to the table in a lot of these, just because it helps, because it's good. Let's face it, that's the only reason why you would do it. I'd like to bring some fresh garlic. You will see some people will bring a fresh shallot or a little bit of fresh onion to this as well. That's totally fine. And then sometimes I will add even some dried seasoning. Beef flat Italian dressing, you're doing an Italian vinaigrette, or a little bit of thyme or herbs de Provence. And you do need some Dijon mustard for most of these. That helps kind of bring that the fat and the fat, the olive oil and the vinegar together, sort of as a binder, kind of gives you that emulsification. But instead of doing it in this food processor in the whiskey, right, I'm going to show you a couple where we are going to use the easiest tool. You may recognize the jelly brand here. Save the jars, they come in handy. And you won't even have to measure, because you can kind of watch yourself go. If I was doing, let me back up a minute. So use this, and this give me, dressing for several days, right? It will store in the refrigerator just fine. Or if I was doing kind of a single serve, then I might use one of these small little gadgets here. But I think this is going to be hard to film, so we're going to be making a shit ton of dressing. Now, like I said, it will store in the refrigerator. It might get a little thick on you. It might separate, all right? If it gets a little thick, add a little bit more vinegar or squirt of lemon juice to it, and give it another shaky shake. If it separates, just give it a shaky shake. As it gets cold, it will tend to thicken a little bit. Sometimes, depends on your portions. It depends on the vinaigrette. But yeah, there you have it. So the first one I'm going to show you is a very simple lemon vinaigrette. Really good for spicy greens like an arugula. Let's see, or radicchio would be really good for this. I think that kind of the bitter, delicious greens. This is going to help just kind of brighten that up. I'm going to bring the camera in closer so you can kind of get a see as to what we're going to do here. Let's put together this lemon vinaigrette. So we're going to start with some olive oil. Now, in this size of jar, I go up to about 1/3. To that, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of some mustard. Let's add 1 crushed garlic. Good old garlic presses, right? What can you say? I'm going to add in the juice of 1 lemon. I'm going to add just about a teaspoon of some honey. And for my lemon vinaigrette, I like just a little bit of some fresh thyme in that. We'll hit it with a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper. And then we're just going to shake the shit out of it. 10-15 seconds. And then we give it a taste. I'm going to go with just another little pinch of salt on that. Give that another go. Beautiful. That easy. Lemon vinaigrette. You're done, kids. Store in the refrigerator up to 10 days, really. Like I said, if it thickens up on you, give it a couple of shakes, add a little something to it, and it'll open right back up for you. Next up, we are going to do the classic balsamic vinaigrette. Who doesn't love a good balsamic vinaigrette? Again, about a third way up with your oil. In goes your clove of garlic, your teaspoon of honey, teaspoon of your mustard, and some balsamic vinegar. Pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and we shake the shit out of it. And we can give this one a taste. You see good, you see that thickness there? That's beautiful. Give this a taste. I'm going to pinch more salt. Beautiful. There you have a balsamic vinaigrette. So next up, I'm going to show you how to do one in a bowl. And we're going to make a nice kind of Greek salad out of this one. But this is your I just call this your classic vinaigrette, right? So this is a red wine vinaigrette. This is the one that you're going to see in most restaurants in the world, really, outside of the United States. In goes your olive oil. We're going to add to that equal parts of some red wine vinegar, good dollop of our mustard, salt, pepper. I'm going to add just a little bit of some Italian seasoning into this one. Get my squirt of honey. And last but not least, let's not forget about our garlic. And I'm just going to whisk this together really well to incorporate. With each of these, you know, guys, taste these, right? Do you want it more sour? Do you want it more tart? Do you want it sweeter? Does it need to be saltier? You know, do you? I just don't think that for this type of stuff that, you know, you need to be too concerned about measuring. Just shoot to get your proportions right, and you will, and it'll come together. And let's set this aside, and we're going to put the salad together. This will be a basic Mediterranean-style tomato, cucumber salad with a little bit of red onion and a ton of fresh herbs. So let's talk about meal prepping a salad, or meal prep for a salad. My rule of thumb is if you're using lettuce, do not pre-dress your salad and let it sit there in the dressing. You're going to want to dress your salad as you serve it and go to eat it, which means these little guys are also perfect for that. For something a little bit more substantial like our tomatoes and cucumbers and onions, we can go ahead and get our dressing in the bowl and properly make sure that everything is properly coated in the dressing. And what will happen is the tomatoes and the cucumbers will start, as they sit, release their juices. And what you'll want to do before you dish you some out is to just kind of give it a fluff to recoat that marinade onto the vegetables, and then sit back and enjoy the deliciousness. So we're just going to, and in fact, I am going to use a different knife for this. We're just going to get our tomatoes going. All right, that's our tomatoes done. Next up, changing knives again, we will do our cucumber. Now we'll cut the ends off. And I think to make this workable, I will just have everything down, spoon, and just kind of get some of these seeds out. This is an English cucumber. This is going to help kind of reduce the moisture that they're going to invariably release off for you. Cut them in half again, and then let's just break them down into some coins. Into the pool. And now for our onion. I'm just going to create some real thin rings here, as thin as I can. The onion will give this all kind of a real nice sort of fresh bite, I guess is what I would call it. And in it goes. As we put these in, we just want to kind of break them all up. Now for some fresh herbs, I'm going to take off chunk of parsley here. Chopping parsley. Rough chop's all you need. That's that sorted. Next up, some basil, and all I'm really going to do here is just kind of tear this off in it. These leaves are pretty small. The basil is going to go amazing with the tomato here. Next up, I'm going to add some fresh mint. And we'll give this just a real rough chop also. And last but not least, it's cucumbers, guys. We're going to want to get some, fresh dill up into this as well, okay? So probably want to avoid some stemage on this. Get that in there. This won't take much to break down. Rough chop. Now, to properly dress a salad like this, right? So you have the dressing on the bottom. You're going to want to lightly bring everything kind of in a roundabout way from the bottom to the top. You're going to want to be careful. You don't want to just totally destroy your tomatoes here. Although, let's face it, they're going to break apart a little bit on you. But you want to make sure that everything is getting a good coat of that dressing. The longer this goes, the better it is. So let me taste for seasoning. A little cucumber. Well, onion. I'm going to go with a little bit of salt because tomatoes need it. A little bit of pepper. Okay, guys, there you have it. Easy Greek salad. Let's get this a taste. So, I totally forgot to add the feta cheese and the olives to this cucumber tomato salad, and I would say that is a requirement for this. It's going to bring a lovely saltiness to it. Let's give it a real taste. You know, there are just some things you eat that just feels healthy in addition to being delicious, and this is one of those things. And God knows I could use more of that. But the brightness of that vinaigrette just sort of pulls through all of it. You've got a little bit of that garlic, the bite of the onion, but the fresh herbs really do just elevate this. So I highly recommend it. So guys, so on this one, you know, we did a basic lemon vinaigrette. You're going to see it separate. You just shake the shit out of it before you use it, just like you would the bottle stuff. Here we have a very rich, sweet balsamic vinaigrette. And then for the Greek salad, we did a traditional red wine vinaigrette. So that's 3 vinaigrettes that we've done. Super easy. You don't have to buy salad dressings. Anyway, if you like the video, please click the like button. Hit subscribe. It's free, but it helps me out. Come along for the ride. We're going to see you next time, kids. On a hot day. Oh, wow. I love feta. There's something about feta and olives together. It's like peas and carrots, really.